Competitive gaming allows for players to have more fun by creating an environment to try their hardest. But this environment comes at a cost. Toxic players. These toxic players will discourage people from playing competitive, and the fun that could have been had will never be realized. Which leaves the question as to why competitive gaming is still so valuable to most games. While not everyone will agree with my opinions, I would like to rant on why I think competitive gaming is still fun. And no, this will not just be a 30-minute video promoting esports. That's a topic for another day. I think it's important to establish that I prefer to play competitive over casual most of the time. And for this example, I use a game called Splatoon. In the base game of Splatoon, you play as squids trying to eat the most turf to win, and these rules would allow for you to play more passively. Ultimately, in Splatoon's base game Turf Wars, you could still win if you prioritize shooting at the ground over shooting at your opponents. By just playing Turf Wars, you can develop a play style which involves being able to cover more ground than your opponent, rather than taking them out. This playstyle could lead to players becoming worse at the game overall by not prioritizing their aim. Of course, there is a valid way to play the game in this method, and not everyone will think it's such a bad thing. I, however, think that it's important to the enjoyment of the game for its player base to continue to improve over time. And this is where competitive comes in. The competitive game modes in Splatoon prioritize eliminating your opponents over covering the ground. However, I like to use the strategy of building up ultimates by covering up the ground, despite me just mentioning how it's a bad idea, but you get the point. Since covering the ground can give you ultimate charge. But this means that I'm not able to help out my teammates finding out the objective. If one of my teammates were to die after 3v4, I would have to focus on killing 2 enemy players to balance things out. This risk-reward system actively discourages me from using a strategy over time, and I have to ditch it eventually just to help out at the objective. The game forces you to improve through the competitive game modes in a way its base game never could. Even with the possibility of a less confronting playstyle becoming popular, that I sometimes rely on, the game will actively encourage you to face your opponents as this strategy becomes less and less effective. Instead of allowing a more passive playstyle, competitive forces you to improve at taking out your opponents. And players will be thanking Nintendo when they get the high dopamine of high kill games. This improvement works differently in other games, but in a competitive environment, players will improve in ways they never could in casual matchmaking. Splatoon is the perfect example of why competitive gaming can be fun in the first place. Splatoon's competitive game modes allow for more interesting ways to play the game rather than just being the same casual map, but last longer. It also removes the toxicity, which is a problem for most competitive game modes. By removing the ability to talk, no one can call you trash if no one has the ability to fucking speak. Checkmate, Overwatch. Of course, not every gaming community allows for the words fun and competitive to be in the same paragraph, but if someone's interrupting your video game fun time, you can always pull a Chad move on them by muting them. At the end of the day, you can't let toxic assholes ruin the fact that fun can't be had with competitive game modes, no matter how many times they refer to the fact that you're at the bottom of the scoreboard. But at the end of the day, you can always flex on internet strangers for being better than them at a video game. Thanks for watching these videos. It takes a lot of effort to make, and I'd appreciate it if you showed your support. Until next time.